How great is this matchup tonight? I mean, you got yourself a big fat double dip. This is huge.
Yeah.
Starting with
Stacked region.
Let's start with the late game first. And is Kentucky full bore? Is everybody healthy? Tell me about this story playing out with the Wildcats, Ian.
Yeah, my sense, it's just a gut feeling. I think P.J. Washington will play. I don't necessarily think he'll start. I don't think he'll play 20, 25 minutes, but I think he'll make an appearance. From what I saw yesterday, he moved around fairly well. He wasn't exploding off that left foot. He wasn't pushing it by any stretch, but he participated just enough to convince me, just my viewpoint, no inside information, that he's going to suit up and give it a whirl. But how they use him might be dictated on the game and how the game goes. Kentucky, they're going against a tough Houston team. This team is relevant again. Kelvin Sampson has gotten to a point where they have to be respected because of the defense that they play. They are guard-oriented, but they're going to make you pay, and they're physical enough on the perimeter and inside that they're a tough team to score against. This, to me, is a pick'em game. This is a battle with P.J. Washington or without him.
And then the opening game, North Carolina and Auburn, as you are calling it on TBS, back in the studio, you have the hearts and minds of both Barkley and Kenny Smith. This is a big one, just in the whole Warner media world, too, Ian.
Rich, do you work in television?
Yes, I do, sir.
Because this seems as if you have a good feel for what could be a sidebar story to our broadcast. How Kenny and Charles are involved still remains to be seen, but
okay.
There's probably going to be some kind of connection over the course of the broadcast where Kenny and Charles will be included in the fun, the madness, and the mayhem. This is a track meet. These two teams love to go up and down the floor. They play with pace. They intimidate you with that pace, yet neither will be intimidated by the idea of running in transition. That's what North Carolina does. That's what Auburn does against the 14 other teams that had qualified for the Sweet 16. Now, obviously, we've whittled it down. I think they would have had an advantage in some form against every other team, but not necessarily against each other. So you start digging a little deeper. North Carolina, tremendous rebounding team, number one in college basketball in rebounding margin. Auburn has a negative rebounding margin. And then assists. North Carolina shares the ball as well as anybody, number two in the country. Questions about Nasir Little, talented freshman who was dealing with the flu, but my understanding earlier today is he's going to give it a go, that he's feeling better. He's a young guy. He's bounced back physically, and they think he can give them some minutes tonight.
Okay. And do you do the same thing with hoops as you do with football, where you meet with coaches with a broadcasting meeting and stuff like that? Do you do the same thing, or no? Not
yeah,
really?
We do. We get them off to the side during their set 90 minutes of practice. So usually last 10, 12 minutes, we get a little meet and greet. We get some nuggets, some tidbits. Met with all four of them yesterday and feeling pretty good about the storylines going into this one.
And,
I think these are two games that could easily live up to what we see on paper.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.